are so proud to be scumbags, to be complete scumbags. It doesn't surprise me that, you know, TikTokers are just really really dumb individuals, you know, that decides to make content on being assholes, you know. Like, but they're basically trying to be like Johnny Somali, but in a more smaller, tamer, but they're still kind of like just an asshole at the end of the day. So I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to hear what's going on here.
On everybody, welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today, man, I mean, you see the title, right? TikTokers are so proud to be complete scumbags. And I'll say technically, like, what we're about to take a look at here is an example of something that really can happen at any time. But considering the fact that people on TikTok like to, for whatever reason, film themselves behaving this way, or just acting like the biggest losers possible whenever they go around other people, right? It just
like that one in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, like yesterday that we did or so. There was that stupid scumass, like scumbag or so, that decided to like hack my private game and decided to crash my game, number one, and try to play Hitler speech or so in the background. I was just like, okay, buddy, all right, you're so cool, kid.
I think it rings true, man. I think it rings true that so many people on TikTok and social media in general are just proud to be pieces of shit, to just be the biggest scumbags possible, going around bothering other people, trying to ruin their day, ruin their time for content and bullshit like that. The example we're about to take a look at here is actually weirdly personal to me because I've done some story times here on the channel. Before I did YouTube, back when I was still in school, I worked at Little Caesars, and that's exactly where this is all taking place at in this video. And the guy in this video is, in my opinion, clearly trying to scam the place out of a refund or whatever. And I don't know if I've mentioned or talked about this in those story times in the past, but this shit happened constantly when I worked there too. We had people call from churches who would like try to order 20 or 30 pizzas ahead of time, and then they would like come back after eating half of it and try and get it for free and shit. Like we had people who were clearly just scumbags. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. People trying to rip off the business, trying to get one over on you, you know what I mean, right? So seeing this video, it just
that's so dumb. Like you're buying something to consume, but then like you're trying to get a refund out of it. That's so dumb. I think one of the most one of the things that I had to deal with or so, because I used to work in fast food as well, you know, not just fast food, but I also worked in a normal kitchen at a normal restaurant and whatnot. One of the things that I had to do was well, not one of the things I had to do, but I was the one encounter that I had. I was working at a El Pollo Loco one time, and it was on the rich side of town. I think this one individual got so mad because he had to wait for the chicken to be cooked or so, because we didn't have enough chicken, right? Everyone just started ordering so much food that our cook was not prepared for it. And even then, at the same time, it wasn't. We had so many grills open up that he couldn't keep up with the orders because everyone was just ordering an enormous amount of food. Like, it was kind of crazy. And then the guy in the drive-thru got so mad, he threw the soda that I gave him at me, and it splashed all over on me. And then he drove off. So that's pretty much just what happened one time at the when I used to work at the drive-thru. So
kind of reminds me of the days making $8.25 an hour and having to deal with this bullshit. And so I'll admit, maybe I am just a tad bit biased in this video, but I mean, as someone who has quite literally experienced pretty much exactly what's happening in this video in person before TikTok was popular, it just really rings home with me. So this guy, he gets a Little Caesars pizza, and then he eventually comes back after eating half of the food, and he tries to return it for a refund. Okay, I get it, right? You didn't like your food, you want a refund. So I don't do typical sponsors here on my videos anymore, man. I figured who better hoodies than Philadelphia embroidered. Can't stand to me, burn. We're gonna be the world over. Shop something to do. 10% watching.
Amen.
From all Staphylococcus meningitis. He got Staphylococcus from all of this garlic butter.
That's not what I said.
You can keep your napkin though.
All right, pretty early into the video, right? And I mean, you see how it's going. Right from the start of the video, the Little Caesars employee is yelling. She tosses the napkin back into his car, right? So for a lot of people, they see this clip and the way it starts, and they probably assume that the employee is just, oh, she's a bitch. She's being rude. There's no reason for this. Now, I will say, is it the most professional way to act, especially as a manager? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do I condone acting this way? Not necessarily, but is this behavior the byproduct of this guy politely asking for a refund, or is it the result of him trying to get one over on the store and then record the employee for shaming on social media? So what's interesting about this is the video starts mid, like, fight or conversation, whatever you want to call it, right? It does not show the beginning of the conversation. And I think there's a very interesting reason why, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. But for now, all I'll say is this fucking tattoo is all I need to know about this guy right here.
This tattoo?
No, it's just, I came in here to, am I allowed, can I say?
All gone and you've got garlic butter all over it. No wonder you got sick.
All gone? Can I, am I allowed to talk or?
Wait, you just talked before you turned your camera on though, right? Right? Mister, I got food poisoning.
No, I said about three words before you started yelling at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Even your pizza knows you liar.
You need to work on your customer service.
I don't let liars come to my store.
I am not a
You
liar.
said you got staphylococcus meningitis
I
from
said-
garlic butter. That is a
Bruh, are you serious? Are you actually serious? This guy's so dumb.
lie.
You guys work for this?
Am I supposed to ask his just because you bought a $7.99?
No!
Okay, I'm refunding you. Drop it. Thank you.
No, you called me a moron.
All right,
Because
so
you are a moron, so. I feel like we lived in a day and age where we record like everything in the drive-thru now these days. Like we record everything in the drive-thru. Dude, it's so dumb.
like I said, you'll notice that half of the fucking food is gone, okay? Now, I'm not a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon or anything like that, right? But I have to assume that if you were willing and capable of eating half the fucking pizza and breadsticks or whatever that you got from this place, that whatever it was couldn't have been that bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I went and I got a steak at a steakhouse and I look down at it and it looks like that fucking burger that killed the food inspector off SpongeBob, I'm not eating that shit. I'm not putting it anywhere near my body. In fact, I'm going to raise a concern right then and there. But of course, this guy, he goes home, chows the fuck down, and then I guess at that point, he probably feels like, oh, I kind of want that $8 back I spent on this Little Caesars pizza. And so he goes back to the store. But of course, we live in a society where the consumer is always told, hey, the customer is right. The customer's always right. So what this has led to is a wave of over-entitled assholes who have no real reason to be complaining, basically thinking, oh, well, the customer's always right. And then they go back to stores and they act this fucking way. And they think that they can talk to the employees however they want. And then, of course, in a lot of these cases, when the employees start chipping back at them, they pull their phone out and start recording right then to, of course, make the context look bad. And then they'll post it to TikTok just like this. Now, other thing I wanted to mention here, guy said he apparently got, let's see, staphylococcal meningitis from eating this pizza at Little Caesars. Once again, I'm not a fucking brain surgeon. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor, right? I make commentary YouTube videos. So I've never had staph meningitis, so I looked it up, right? What causes it? What is the onset? What are the symptoms? Just to see if any of this guy's story actually lines up with what's going on here. And there's a pretty interesting find here about staphylococcal meningitis. And keep in mind, this is coming directly from the US government. I'm not just on fucking WebMD or anything, right? This is from medlineplus.gov, which is part of the National Library of Medicine. So I looked up causes of this, right? Staphylococcal meningitis is caused by Staphylococcus bacteria. It usually develops as a complication of surgery or as an infection that spreads through the blood from another site. Risk factors include infections of heart valves, past infection of the brain, past meningitis due to spinal fluid shunts, recent brain surgery, the presence of a spinal fluid shunt, trauma, and bloodstream infection with one of the bacteria. I'm going to assume that none of these have anything to do with purchasing a fucking pizza from Little Caesars.
Damn. It's kind of like funny if you like order a burger or so from like McDonald's, right? And then you just eat like half the burger, and then you go to return it, right? To try to get a refund and be like, yeah, I got STDs or so from eating your burger or so I kind of want a refund, you know? It's basically the same thing, you know? And I'm just kind of like, bruh.
Okay, so you might be like, oh, but Optimus, sometimes these things spread other
Hey, Greasy
ways,
Feathers.
you know, sometimes rare cases happen, right? And I get that, you know, sometimes shit happens not the way that we thought.
Hello, Kuro. Thank you for the follower. So since you followed, because I always do this to every new followers, of course, you can never ever leave the outer realms. But hello, greetings. Hello, welcome. Hello, Kuro.
Thought it was gonna happen. I get it. So then I continued, you know, look up the symptoms, because this seems like a pretty severe infection to just get, you know? It's not like some
I heard burgers and STDs. I'm in a perfect place. Yeah, it's just a bunch of TikTokers just being scumbags at the moment. So, aw, Greasy Feather, you tired? Well, get some rest, hun. Get some rest.
fucking food poisoning, right? This is something a little bit more legit, right? So I looked up the symptoms, and like I said, fever and chills, mental status changes, nausea and vomiting, sensitivity to light, severe headache, stiff neck.
I have photophobia. It's just, you know, I have photophobia. You know, when someone when I told someone I have photophobia because they were asking me, why are you wearing like protective like sun lenses or so, right, over my eyes, right? I told them like, well, I have photophobia, and they were just looking at me with like confused, puzzled face. And because my doctor diagnosed me with photophobia, and because, you know, I've been in the void for so long. The void is like literally just pure darkness and whatnot, right? So then when I came to this planet or so, my eyes were not adjusted to the light that you guys have here, right? So my eyes were like starting to, like, I couldn't open my eyes a lot. I had to close my eyes a lot or so, and then like I just had a lot of issues. I was getting a lot of migraines constantly, and my migraines are like really bad on top of that, from like the lights and everything. So that's why for me personally, when it comes to like the lights here in general, I have everything dimmed down so much, but not too much, but I have it dimmed down quite a lot compared to like other people who have like super bright lights and everything like that. So that's why when I go outside or anything like that, I'm always wearing shades for my eyes, because I can't see. My eyes become like super watery. I can't open my eyes for a very long time. I have to like keep blinking consistently or close my eyes. And I just get, and after a while or so of being outside with like without the glasses, or the shade glasses anyways, because I wear glasses, so I have like a layer of I have that little clip-on thing where it turns into kind of like a sunglasses or so. If I stay outside without that specifically, I start getting migraines afterwards. So you get flashbangs every day. Well, I try to make sure my living space is as minimal light as possible. So
Other symptoms can include agitation, bulging fontanelles, I guess, I don't know. He's not an infant, doesn't really matter. Decreased alertness, poor feeding or irritability in children, rapid breathing, and unusual posture with the head and neck arched backwards. Okay, so just taking a look at this list of symptoms, this guy does not appear to be suffering from even a single one of them. I mean, if I had mental status changes, sensitivity to light, a stiff neck or muscles, my fucking head and neck arched backwards, I'm breathing all rapidly. I think the last thing I'm gonna do is get in the car and drive to my local Little Caesars for a fucking $8 refund on a pizza, okay? Usually, I would think you're not driving a car under those circumstances.
True.
Your ass is going to the hospital, you're gonna be in a hospital bed, and you're going to be getting treated for whatever this is. And then I also find out that staphylococcal meningitis is a very severe infection. In fact, it is pretty fatal, actually. If treatment is not started early enough, it actually increases the fatality rate. So, like I said, this guy, he got staphylococcal meningitis, very severe infection, you know, very hard to treat. Sometimes it's bacteria resistant, according to what I've seen. But this guy, you know, he's the miracle case where he didn't get any of these symptoms. He's not damn near dead in a fucking hospital bed or anything. And the place he's trying to get a refund from doesn't really seem like the place you're gonna get this kind of infection. But yeah, he's all of a sudden saying and wanting this over a fucking $8 refund, like, but I'm supposed to, and this employee is supposed to believe and like actually think that that's the fucking case. And just to add to it, right?
I think it's
if you really did get staph meningitis from a Little Caesars, you know, it risked your life. You had to go get medical treatment. You did survive. Your prognosis was good. Which is more likely? A, this guy decides to go back to Little Caesars for an $8 refund, okay, and to get into a TikTok argument with the manager, or do you think he's going to sue the Little Caesars Corporation for at least the cost of his medical bills, pain and suffering, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Which do you think is more likely? $8 refund and argument, or lawsuit settled out of court for the biggest payday of your life? Let's be fucking serious here. This guy did not get staph meningitis from his Little Caesars pizza. He's a fucking loser. He spent $8 on a pizza and then regretted it, probably because that was part of his rent money or whatever. Judging by his fucking tattoos, that's probably a fucking fresh tattoo. That might be a sleeve to this guy from whatever home tattoo studio he's getting his fucking tats from. And he realized that, and then he went back and started a big fucking conundrum, is filming this employee. And we know how this shit goes, right? When these employees end up getting filmed and go viral like this and whatever, lots of the times they end up getting fired, even though, yeah, they may have maybe not reacted perfectly, but ultimately this is how a lot of people would react in the same situation. Like, I get that these people are supposed to be professionals, but you have fucking losers like this who go tempt fate over an $8
My ADHD
pizza
refuses to
and just
focus
act
on the
like
voice
complete
and more into the
scumbags.
MC,
And these
damn it.
employees most of the time are powerless to this
Don't worry
shit.
about it, you're
They
fine.
can't say or do anything to these people because, well, they can get sued, they can get fired, whatever it may be, right? So there's this power dynamic where these fucking losers can behave this way if they choose to, and there's basically no repercussions other than people like me pointing and laughing at them, calling them fucking losers, right? Now, I guess it is technically possible that, once again, he did get staph meningitis from this pizza, but if that's the case, I really doubt that he would have gotten treated for it, left the hospital, and went back all in the same day. Considering it seems, from what I've read online too, this like staph meningitis shit usually takes 3 to 7 days for the onset of it. So you mean to tell me that this guy hung on to this one Little Caesars pizza for 3 to 7 days after eating half of it, and then got, you know, fucking staph meningitis, went to the hospital, survived, you know, had no complications or symptoms or whatever, and then once again went back through the fucking Little Caesars drive-through window to get his $8 refund? I'm sorry, I'm just not buying it. I am not buying that that is what happened here. And I like how the video wraps up and the guy's like, but you called me a moron. It's like, yeah, you deserve to be called worse. If you ask me personally, I would have called you a fucking loser and told you to get out of my drive-through line. If I were the manager, I'm not giving this fucking loser a refund. You can go to corporate and try and argue with them that you got staph meningitis and whatnot. I'm not giving you that refund. But of course, you know, I say that from the privileged position now of no longer working in a fucking Little Caesars. I get to make YouTube videos all day, so I probably have a little bit of a different outlook than somebody whose job is probably on the line for stuff like this. But it's a sad day for society when you come to realize that this is how people really go around acting and behaving. And this shit is all over TikTok. Now, this is just one example, right, of just the types of losers that populate that website and just make assholes out of themselves and drive through lines and in public and whatnot for content. But that in and of itself is the problem. We've like normalized people like this going around around in public.
This is why I take things more things very seriously and strict when things are getting ridiculous, as it is not my problem. I don't really take life too serious, to be honest, but yeah, when it comes to, but you know, there's a time and a place when you know, when you have to do certain
filming
situations,
other people for TikToks, being a
Choco,
douchebag as quote unquote content, right? These people think that they can actually get something out of it. And honestly, even though the manager called him a moron and a liar, I think that she was nice to even give this guy the fucking $8 back for his pizza, because he insults her customer service and he like downplays the other employees. Oh, you guys work for this? Like, buddy, you're sitting in a Little Caesars drive-through returning a $7
Your legs feel dead?
$7
Oh, no. Oh,
a
no.
$7 pizza with a fucking doodled cross tattoo on your forearm that people can see. If it were up to me, you wouldn't have the legal right to vote, dude. Like, this is what happens when you don't raise your children properly. They turn into fucking grown, entitled man babies like this. So I don't know, if you're one of these TikTok folk who you go around doing this and you're seeing this video, man, stop being a loser, stop acting this way. It gets you nowhere in life. We all, you know, the rest of us collectively in society, we point and shame at you because you deserve it. Anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new.
Yeah, yeah, me personally, like, those kinds of people are just not... Good thing I haven't, like, I don't think I've met anybody like that, but I have met, like, really shitty people or so in the drive-thru, and they just, like I said, they threw something at me. They threw their soda at me when I used to work at a drive-thru once, so... Yeah, like, hey, you have done something that I don't like. I want my refund and stuff, and I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, it's just, yep, nope, not my problem. That's your own problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. There's so many. There's a good thing I just don't watch TikTok, right? I'm not a TikTok person, thank God, you know. And there's like a whole bunch of these people who's trying to become TikTok famous, I guess. I don't know, to be honest, to try to become, you know, like that, but becoming in the wrong way of doing it, you know. This is dumb. This is so scummy. So yeah, shorts are not my thing. TikToks and shorts are just not my type of content, you know. It's not really my type of content. I usually watch long videos or so when it comes to YouTube format. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. Anyways, peace.